All right, in number 3, we are going to graph a piecewise function. I know it's a piecewise function because there's two different equations that my y can equal. The dead giveaway with piecewise function is always the parentheses. So I know in this case that when I'm putting my two pieces together, that the break in my graph is going to be at x equals 2. So I'm going to put a little dotted line there just to kind of visualize where that break is going to occur as I'm making my graphs. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to graph both of these lines like normal. I'm just going to ignore the break in the line so I can just figure out where these lines are going to be at. So the very first line, the negative 2x plus 4, I'm going to do in red. So that is going to be a y-intercept of 4, a slope of down 2 over 1. And then what you want to try to do is make as straight as a line as possible through those 2 points, which is kind of hard to do on this pad that I'm working this problem on. And the next line, x minus 5, I know is going to be a y-intercept of negative 5 and a slope of 1 over 1. Remember, there's nothing in front of that x. It has a slope of 1 over 1. So once I have 2 points, I can try to make as straight a line as I can through that. So now that I know where both lines, how they should look on my graph, I have to look at my domain. My domain tells me which line to use. So when x is greater than 2, so when my x's are greater than 2, all my x's to the right of 2 is going to be the red line. So what I need to do is I need to get rid of the line on the left-hand side of 2, because that line can only happen when x is greater than 2. Now the opposite's going to occur with the blue line. When x is less than 2, that is where that line can be. So I can't have any blue lines where x is not less than or equal to 2. So what I'm going to do is I am going to get rid of that blue line. So I know that it's on 2 different sides of my function. And that's not a very good fix to that red line. Let me redraw that red line for you. Alright, so now that I know which side of my break in my graph each line is, I have to figure out open dot or close dot. So that's the last and final step. So when x is greater than 2, I'm going to have the red line, the negative 2x plus 4. Can that line be on 2? Well, it can't equal 2, so it can't be on that line. I know in that case that I am going to have an open dot. I can go all the way up to 2. I just can't be equal to 2 or on that. But the blue line, x minus 5, it can equal 2. So in that case, I can use a closed line, closed dot, I should say. So there you have it. That is my piecewise function graph. So basically, let's review real quick. The first thing you want to do is you want to figure out your break. The second thing you want to do is graph both lines like normal, just to figure out how they should look. The third thing you want to do is erase the lines that don't belong. And I should say the part of the lines that don't belong. And then the last and final thing you do is figure out open dots or closed dots where the break happens. I hope that helps.